Twitch and YouTube. How are you? Jason here with E7 Forge, and I wanted to do this video to go over a group I came up with based on a group by um, is it Moriasm? Moriway Way by AISM. He's a popular YouTuber, so if you see this, man, I'm not trying to steal your team. I just use your video as an inspiration and didn't have a healer that could actually solve the problem of Rift. So I decided I was going to do a two healer team just to keep myself alive. Because if you think about it, Rift is a slog, right? We talk about wanting to clear as quickly as possible, about your DPS, about how fast you can push it, but we don't often talk about the other side of things, which is what do you do if you're just banging your head against the wall and you cannot freaking clear it, right? So bear with me. I'm just getting going here. It is 3 o'clock in the freaking morning where I'm at. Didn't really sleep last night, so or tonight, whatever you'd want to call it. But yeah, we're just gonna get going with this team overview. Full disclosure, I did record the video of the playthrough um, 1st of April. So this is pre-recorded content we're going to be going over, but that's simply because I didn't have time to make the video, but I wanted to capture the content, but I didn't want to like leave myself, stuck at a certain level of character building. So let us get into what this team is all about. One final note about Maury on YouTube. I will put a link to his channel and to the video that inspired this team. This is a small community. We want to be here for each other, so let's just make this game the best thing it can be, and this community the best thing it can be, right? So let's go over, how we arrived here, right? I see. Well, let me fire up my client. Here's where things get really. Bear with me. The Windows client requires freaking administrative privileges to run, and so I have my computer locked down. So I need to launch the client, put in the freaking password, and then we'll get rocking and rolling. So, like I said, we are going to go over how you can clear Rift and continue to clear Rift. That did not work. Let me make sure password with the Zero Mola team. And to be clear, it is a fully auto team. Okay. Okay, so bear with me. I'm having technical difficulties. My password changes daily, and it looks like it's rotated. So go grab the new password. So riveting stuff that is riveting. We have to do. That's not theme song. Just made it up one. Rules. Skill. Almost there, folks. Almost there. Bear with me. I was typing. So let's try that again. So, where are you? we got it right that time. Yay, we can do basic tasks such as put password. So let's get the game going and bring me back. Oh, sorry about that. Um, so I do need to move my game launch stove clock. Approve. Approve. Okay, so um, finally the app is loaded. We is gonna get into the game so I can show you what I'm talking about, y'all. How's everybody doing this morning? This evening, this afternoon, I don't know, wherever you may be, whatever time it may be, when it may be. I hope you're doing well. So, like I was saying, this is going to show you a zero Mola team. Um, Fully auto, show you how it works. We'll go over the builds. We'll, you'll see it actually do its thing. Like I said, this is pre-recorded because I didn't want my team to be stuck while I waited and had time to do this video. But the reason I was launching the game or trying to takes a minute for the initial connection. On. Oh, fine. So the reason I was coming here is if you were not aware, this little button up here, Orbis Guide, talk about some good rewards. Okay. Doesn't look like much on this screen because I've cleared a bunch of it, but you see this tab up here that says Challenge Rift. Similarly, there is a challenge Hall of Towers, a challenge Hunt. Each of the challenges has 3 stages. Each stage is divided into 3 levels. Each level has certain goals, and there are lots of great rewards to be had. Okay. I mean, these epic accessory selection chests are certainly nothing to, ignore, right? Nice to have those in the barrel. You get your leafs, you get your, summon ticket. You get a total of 45 leafs for the 3 stages of the Rift one. The rewards are different on the other ones. Side note, I was extremely excited. I finished the Hall of whatever, Hall of Death Dealer Ray, I forget what it's called, um, on challenge mode with Triple S Plus using a level 50 Chaos Sect Axe. So if you're interested in seeing how to do that a lot cheaper, let me know and stay tuned because I do plan on making that video as well. But I was excited because I got that Triple S Plus on challenge mode and got the reward. And the reward up here, where once you cash everything in, was something, and then a light summon and a dark summon. Well, single light summon, I pull that sucker, and guess who drops? The one and only Barunka. I was freaking pumped. I've been like trying to pull for her for like ever, and it was just a random pull, so I was like over the moon. So, um, that's what I said. I wanted to make sure you are aware of this journey of succession. So, there's a lot of good rewards to be had there. Um, but you have to actually be able to do the content. So that brings us to the Rift. So you can see, I'll flash back to the video, same team, right? I'm now sitting at Rift Controller level 8, and I have not changed my team. Now, I have put a little bit more investment in them because I'm using them for other stuff now. But to be clear, and you will see this when as we go through the video, um, there is no Mola, no skill ups. that require Mola on any of these characters, and it does fully auto clear. So let me take this opportunity just to go over a few basics about Rift. Feel free to fast forward. Sorry if you are familiar with Rift, but if you're like me, whenever you came to this screen at first, you're like, what's a Rift controller? Um, I only get 3 attempts at this because, you can see I have one time left right here. Side note, the team didn't actually die. I backed out of some runs because I was doing some filming and something messed up. But so you might look at this and wonder like what it is, how to do it, and you might have taken a stab at it and gotten your butt kicked like I did. Brought in like my big dogs, my high CP, stacked to the gills with gear, um, you know, hot units, and just like fell on my ass, right? And I started, looking around, trying to learn more about the mode. So let me just do a quick overview so that any of you who were like me can have a better understanding. Number one, the goal of this mode is to defeat this giant monster. When you first start Rift, this giant monster is only going to have 25% of its hit points. That's just kind of to ease you in. Subsequent runs, it will have all of its life. Now, whenever you start the mode, it tells you you have, something to the effect of you have 3 tries to get this done. Um, so I misunderstood that at first. What I thought that meant was you had to do enough damage to kill the boss within 3 runs. That is quite different from what it actually is. What it actually means is you have up to 3 deaths to kill the boss. So the boss is going to have like 16, 20 health bars, something like that. It's going to take fight after fight after fight after fight, take him down. Way more than 3, right? Now, once you develop your account and you get like a stacked Rift team, it'll be a lot quicker. But again, this is for the free to play players out there that are struggling with clearing Rift, or for people who just like a challenge. Um, so that's the goal, right? So let's talk about the rewards for a minute. One of the great things about Rift is it's the only place in the game where you can actually select any set, right? Like, well, I say any set, but I don't see Warfare. So most sets, whatever. I need to change these because it's been a minute since I even looked at them. I'm hurting for some that and some that and always need speed, so yeah, put some of that. Okay, so you get to pick sets that you are low on. That's probably the biggest draw to Rift, right? But to be clear, the drops are not as efficient, not as premium on a whole in terms of drop percentages in Rift as they are in Hunt. You are going to get better gear more often on faster runs with faster iterations doing Hunt. So you might ask yourself, well, why in the world am I going to do Rift? Well, I showed you why you want to do Rift. Go over here and finish your quest, right? There's another reason. There is a Rift season. So, you don't have to do it all at once. There's a decent track to go through. We always want Mola, Mola, Mola. T-stones, all the chests, some charms. And something to be aware of is as the season goes on and as you progress through the Rift, you do more and more damage with some buffs that you get. So the runs get faster and faster. So by the end of it, you should be, you cycling. And we're hoping that this team that we built cheaply is going to be able to do that. And do it quickly. It's going to make it all the way, right? Um, So let's see. Is there anything else I want to go into before? Okay, so um, again, to be clear, the video we're going to look at from was pre-recorded. I'm rep control level 8. This means I do 56% more damage to the boss. This means I have to survive for 30 turns. Now that's important whenever we talk about you have 3 tries, right? What that means is you have to survive for 30 turns, 30 actions, one character, one action. Uh, you have to survive for 30 actions for for the run to count as a non-failed run, if that makes sense. Now we have these purple things. They're called dimensional fragments, and they give you different buffs that unlock at different levels. So you get the first one after you beat your first rift. Get the second one at level 8. Third one at rift control at level 15. Fourth one at level 21. So again, be clear that we did at rift controller level 1 had none of this, right? No damage bonus, no buffs, nothing. And I'll show you that screen. We'll just, anyway, whatever. So, yeah, let's go ahead and take, I think we've probably gone over the basics, right? I mean, if anybody is even out there, if you have any questions about this mode or anything that we're talking about here, please let me know. But we are going to get into the team itself. So, let's look at these 4 characters, right? We have Bellona, Schneel, Destina, and the one, the only, the Immortal Wukong. Okay, I think he's the only one that doesn't have like a story-related summon. So if you don't have him, I'm sorry. You know, you'll have to find a tank that is able to keep himself alive, because you'll see how Wukong does his job as you go through. And on that note, when you look at these 4 characters, they all have some role in keeping themselves or the team alive. Yes, even Bellona. Okay? So that is very important, because remember, the reason we were failing was because we were dying before we could hit the 30 turns. Now, conversely, what that means is if you build this team when you start this, you're going to hit like a wet noodle. So put it on auto, go fix a sandwich, you know, walk the dog, whatever. It's going to take a minute. But they stay alive, and they do that by loving each other, right? So we're going to get into their abilities and how they do that, right? But that is a very important part of the team. Now, I'll stop right here before we get into, actually, let's just look at stats. I'll follow up with what I was about to tell you afterwards. Let's get into what the actual builds look like. So, be clear, this does say Rift Controller level 2. That's simply because I don't actually have a video of the first clear I did. So, you can see after you clear the first time, you get this 8% buff and you get the first dimensional fragment. Alright, so let's look, because you're going to see, like, look at this CP down here. Like, that is not much to write home about, right, guys? Like, 464 total as a whole. I mean, we know CP isn't everything, obviously, right? But that gives you a frame of reference. You know, the other runs that I've watched are easy in the 500s and, you know, above or whatever. But let's take a look at the actual builds. So here's what Wukong is on. So nothing major, right? 227 speed. So you want to give him as much health as you can. Let's just look at his abilities while we can look at him live. We can look at them live, but you'll be able to see the numbers that they have on the video. So this S1 is very, very, very important, attacks, it's an AoE. There's a bonus because you use AoE if you use AoEs in this fight, so that's a good thing, right? Um, and he bubbles himself, right? Remember whenever I said every character on this team does something to keep themselves or the team alive? That's his little pony trick. Okay. So some resistance, buffings, good. Now let's talk about his S3. And again, I'll thank Maury for this tip. You want to run auto with his S3 off. Um, my reasoning for that, and I'm not sure if that's what Maury was going for, and I'll tell you why I'm saying that after I go over these stats and whatnot. But my reason, lost my train of thought, but uh, where was I going? Oh yeah, my reason for turning it off is if he uses his S3, that is one less opportunity for him to use his S1, and his S1 is king because of that barrier, right? He needs to stay alive. Um, so yes, the S3 does a lot of damage, but it's going to you're going to skip a cycle of soaking up damage that could keep you alive. So again, if you look at his numbers, um, everybody can see that. I'll go ahead and zoom it in for you. This is Wukong. Go up here and say for Wukong. That's actually the wrong stats. My bad. Don't ignore that. These are the stats. Ooh. I'm on defensive speed. His stat, right? Other stuff. One. So that's Wukong. All right. Let me be clear. Like I said, um, yeah. Notice he's still unskilled, right? So zero Mola, no skilly, right? And you can see, obviously, see that video. Flash. Not like it matters. It's not like I can undo the skill up on him. So whatever. Like I said, no skills. So oh yeah, there you go. Right now, notice how it says imprint circuit takeoff applied. That is something that you don't want to sleep on. You know, you go to your imprint circuit, make sure you are assigning characters to the board so that they can get buffs whenever you try and do content that you're banging your head against, right? Um, so back to the video. So that's Wukong. That brings us to Phoebe, Bologna. She gets the best gear out of the group. I mean, obviously I built based on what I had access to. But you do want some DPS, right? And her particular stats, excuse me, help with her healing, right? As I said, everyone has some role for some type of healing or survival. So we have Bologna here for the defensive downbreak, for the AoE, for the extra attacks, and for Bloodstone. Bloodstone Ranger, her extra attacks. I think it pans out that her extra attacks proc Bloodstone. Bloodstone heals. That's the artifact that she's wearing. If you're not aware of what I'm talking about, and you got Wukong on what's that, like Proof of Valor or something? Get what I had him on, sorry, in a minute. Was that Proof of Valor? No. What is that, guys? Or is that, freaking, Luna's thing? The Drago Lance or whatever. Draco Plate. Nope, that's not it either, huh? What the heck is he wearing, guys? Got something on, I'm gonna find it for you. So here's Bloodstone. Like I was saying, Bologna is wearing this. I have it at plus 15. Got the job done. You would think he'd be on Aureus. I mean, is that what that is? No. What is that freaking artifact? Bet you can't see gear history character. Ah, cigarette scythe. I was right. It was Luna's Lance thing. So that's what I have Wukong on. So in case people actually want to reference any of this, we have him on that. So let's look at BB. So she's almost rocking the 140 CP, right? You want to push her speed as much as you can, right? Because you want her attacking as much as she can, so that she can heal as much as she can. Obviously the extra attack rocks that she gets helps with that. But as you will see, looking at stuff too. Oh, I do have her EE, so make sure full transparency. Look at her skills. Well, regardless, if you look at her portrait over here, where my mouse is mousing at, notice how it does not have a plus 15. It has a plus nothing, because again, 0 Mola. Like I said. So let's get a picture of her. Come on. Sorry, my screen software is going crazy. Alright, so is he on Bloodstone? Right, let's look at Neely Schneal. Or no, we're looking at this. Sorry. So again, funny thing about Destina, she's not even fully awakened, right? She's only 5 awakenings out of 6. Notice the plus 0. We're looking at her skills. You can see that doesn't have anything skilled up. She is on Shamadra staff, and her numbers. And we'll talk about more about their roles as we watch the playthrough, and I'll try and give a breakdown beforehand. So this is Roro, and what What's she on? Did I say on Shimanga? She's just rocking that 102 CP in the hizzy. Um, so that brings us to Bernard. I'm sure you were all laughing at me the entire time, like, that's not freaking Schneel. Yes, I know. He's a green healer. Now, let me be clear here. He does have a skill up, right? If you, but I didn't say no skills. I did mention no skills, but didn't mean no skills. It's no Mola. So I was also careful to not spend any catalyst. So you can see I only used Stigma, um, and those are the only updates I got because he's kind of important with his heals. Um, let's look at his numbers, and he's on that artifact. Go grab. Notice he is 4 awakened stars out of 5. And he's rocking, what was that artifact? Forward, it is somewhere here. There it is, Celestine. So, rocking Celestine on. Okay. Um, so let's look at their abilities and we'll talk a little bit about start a meeting or is that screen? That's just a room. Talk about their abilities. Okay. So when you look at Wukong, we talked about his abilities, right? We talked about Bellona's abilities. We can, if you're not clear on her kit, right? So, max health scaling, DPS, AoE, defense down, right? Another AoE, um, and can proc automatically. So let's look at Bernard because here's one of the most important parts of this comp. And you can do this with other healers. I think Mori runs Schneel. I'm remembering correctly. But this cleanse right here dispels all debuffs from all allies and grants immunity for 2 turns. You'll see in this fight there are a metric crap ton of debuffs. So you want cleanse, 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 cleanse. Did I say you want cleanse? Cleanse. You need to be cleansing. So, and an S1 heal. Very much a clinch player, and he's like a 3-star. You should have him somewhere sitting in your bag of goodies. So now we get Dee Dee. I said Roro, but and I'm sorry, I dumb names for. But she was not skilled up at the time of the video, as we saw. Um, but I have since skilled her up a little bit. But if you look at her kit, she has a heal on S1. She's got a cleanse, and she has a revive, which is very important because early on, especially, you will have some characters die here and there. That's okay, right? It's not going to be. It's going to be ugly at first, right? It'll get better and better and better as you continue to clear, but it will be an ugly run at first, as we'll see. So I think that's a good rundown of the team. Um, I do want to mention a key difference and highlight how you can approach things differently strategically, right? Like Maury's team is very well thought out, and um, he has the speed of each character set and locked in a certain order for the turn order rotation to work exactly how he wants it. So props to Mori. It's a badass team. It's a really good strategy. I just didn't have the pieces to make it work, so I had to do my own thing. So I just wanted to, like I said, highlight that difference. Please go check his video out. Like I said, I will put a link. His team is obviously is definitely faster and better. It's more better. But let's go ahead and just take a look at a run. So again, going in live, or not live, but going in, I was only at 464 CP. Um, we don't have to watch the whole thing, but we'll just catch a few highlights. Like I said, you're gonna get like a ton of debuffs. Um, so smack. So notice, did you see how much health went down on Wukong? That barrier is freaking crucial. So you can see down at the bottom by my ugly mug, I have his skill off, his S3 off. Again, thanks to Mori for that tip. And if you look at the top, you can see how that purple is slowly draining away and revealing an orange. And there's a times 13 and a level 99. So what that means is that boss has 13 energy bars left. So over the course of however many battles it takes, you slowly whittle that life bar down. So you see Bologna proccing her AoEs. This attack right here, if you can survive this like string of attacks that it does, where it's got the big boat and then it slams you like that and does another slam. I think it's about to, yeah, or no, it does the hurricane. So yeah, that tornado, whatever. That three kind of string combo is the toughest the fight gets, and he does it multiple times. Like he does it kind of on a cycle, a timer, or whatever. So if your team can survive that three hit beat, then you're golden. So we don't, like I said, need to watch this whole video. See if there were any deaths and what the end of the run. See, like, look right there. You can see, like, people were on. Oh, so I cleared it. Okay. But people were on edge on right here towards the end. Right, that's the end of the run. Let's see if I can pause it. Notice, uh, the one right there. That means I literally have one turn left. And that gave me the clear. So, my characters were super close to dying, but I got the clear. Moved into the next one of the run, and I ran like 60 rifts that right because again I was clearing that Orbish track. Um, so like I said, as do the rifts more and more, you get damage buffs um, that make the runs go faster and faster, right? Um, I mean, I could gear them up and go do a run, but that's not the point really of this video, right? Because they're beyond zero Mola now, um, and I have better gear, and I'm all buffed up, so that's not really what you're trying to do yet. I'll do a follow-up video later, show you what the team looks like, because I'm going to finish the season, so I'll do like a part two where you can see just a 5-10 minute update of where they ended up at and how quickly they're clearing, right? So hope this helped you. I know I was struggling with Rift, and the in-game descriptions didn't do a whole lot for me. Um, I mean, part of that was because I just clicked and didn't read everything as thoroughly as I should have. But once you understand the mechanics of the system, it becomes easy to start thinking about a team. Um, I was inspired by Maury, like I said. I took his team, modified it to what I could actually do, and ended up with a bit of a different beast. But again, thank you very much for the inspiration, sir. And thank you all for watching, and I hope this did help you in some way. You can look forward to more videos about ways to do things as a free to play player on my channel. You'll find things like that, things like how to use ChatGPT to manage your account, me being a dork. So, just drop on by, say hi, drop a follow, drop a like, drop a whatever you want to drop. But this has been Jason with E7 Forge. I'm going to drop off of this video so I can cut it and have a solid video for YouTube. And then I'm just going to turn right back around, get back on the stream, and we're going to hit up some PvP and some PvE, probably Abyss or Archive on my main account. Also going to test some of the teams that GPT came up with for my alt account. So, stay tuned, folks.